What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the JDW Sports Network. We have a brand new segment coming your way. Two brand new faces joined the channel for the very first time. Very special guests from over at Dropzone Sports. They do their weekly show every Wednesday night, talking their football, their basketball. I like coming in and stirring the pot a little bit. You know what I mean? It's fun. It's fun to get people going sometimes, but then I get it right back. So that's that. But yeah, I appreciate you guys joining us for a brand new segment here. We're gonna try to do this every Thursday. Um, it's gonna be a premiere, most likely. Once in a while, we'll see if we could do it live. We'll just see what scheduling and things bring us. So we'll just see what happens. But here we are. We're here, ready for the first ever segment of your fantasy fixings, weekly fantasy fixings. We got Jeff and we have Tony. If you guys would like to introduce yourselves, tell them a little bit about where they could find you, about your podcast, and whoever wants to go first, go for it.
Go ahead, buddy.
All right, so I am Jeff. Uh, me and Jay, we go back where we actually work together in real life, so that's how I met Jay, and Jay has helped us out on our podcast a lot. The Drops on podcast on YouTube. So if you guys want to go check it out, then that'd be awesome. Again, we live stream every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. With me and my co-host over here, Anthony Young. So I will let Tony talk a little bit about himself and what he would like to say about our podcast.
Yeah, my name is Anthony, or as Jeff and Jason calls me, Tony. Um, Jeff is my business partner. We both basically co-own the Drop Zone. It's a podcast it started out as a podcast and then turned into a business. Um, like I said, we've had Jason on. Jason was a lot of fun when we had him on. He actually got the chance. One of the few people that actually made me walk off the set, so he could take pride in that. But yeah, like I said, Jeff said, we co-host a podcast that's every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. You can catch us on YouTube, or you can catch us on Facebook group page, the Drop Zone Podcast, and we also have stream live on our personal profile pages as well. So yeah, that's about. We just started an online store for the podcast as well. So yeah, like I said, for me and Jeff, this has actually become a business for us, and he is my business partner and one of my best friends. And I enjoy doing the podcast with him. And yeah, it's going to be fun doing it with Jason today. I actually was kind of excited.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm pretty excited too to have you guys on. It's been a long time coming, and yeah, you guys going live every single week, getting that consistency and getting that experience in, and you know, it just takes time. It just takes time. You're gonna have the occasional internet trolls, but that's what I'm here for, right? I mean, I guess I'm kind of that already, but um, yeah. Let's get into our topic for today. Well, fantasy football, obviously, but we got top five we each have our top five quarterbacks, receivers, running backs, tight ends, and we each threw a couple of overhyped and underhyped players into the mix as well. So, all right, there we go. All right, so Tony, you want to start off the first top five list and start off with your man Lamar Jackson and give us your rundown of your top five quarterbacks for fantasy football.
All right, so my top five fantasy list quarterback, starts with Lamar Jackson. He is the most dynamic quarterback in NFL right now. His arm strength, his ability to escape the pocket and make you look like a complete fool is amazing. Second, I have is Josh Allen. He's another top specimen that's almost as dangerous as Lamar Jackson. He just doesn't have Lamar Jackson's speed. Then I have Joe Burrow. If the Cincinnati Bengals offensive line could keep him upright and keep him healthy, Joe Burrow is very lethal, especially throwing down the ball, throwing the ball down the field. to T. Higgins or Jamar Chase. Then I have at fourth my boy C.J. Stroud. You can ask Jeff about C.J. Stroud; he'll tell you all about him.
We're not getting into it right now.
Here we go. Here we go.
So
Here we
yeah,
go.
I kind of told Jeff about C.J. Stroud when he was a rookie, and those who don't know Jeff do not like rookie quarterbacks at all. He has a thing against them. I mean, it's not a thing against them, but he feels that they shouldn't be starting, which some rookie quarterbacks shouldn't. A lot of them should be holding a clipboard the first year and learning. But in some situations, certain teams got to throw him right in the mix. Houston was one of them, and like CJ Stroud just literally took the league by storm his rookie year. Next would be Jaden Daniels, which was another rookie last year. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't see the production coming out of Jaden Daniels like I thought that we saw this past season. So yeah, I had to put him in my top five because he's another specimen, just like Lamar Jackson, just without the speed. So yeah, that rounds out my top five.
All right. Move on to Jeff.
Yeah, you could see me and Tony. We do this, or we've been doing this podcast stuff together for a while because we have the same top three. Lamar and that offense is you can get points from anywhere with Lamar, whether it be through the air or on the ground. That's why I like him. Josh Allen, pretty much the same thing. He rushes for a lot of touchdowns, so that definitely helps out with the points for the QB spot. Again, same with Joe Burrow. That offense is always going to put up points. And Tony said about the offensive line, definitely. But if that defense is bad again this year, they will have to be slugging it out with pretty much every team that they play against. So it'll more likely be a lot of points and touchdowns for Joe Burrow. Jane Daniels, I have at number 4, just because I think he was probably about the fourth best quarterback in the league last year. Again, a rookie, he definitely shocked me with how he played last year. I think he'll get even better in his sophomore year here in the NFL. And when in due time, I think he could be like a Lamar Jackson type of dynamic threat. And I put Jalen Hurts in the top 5 a lot of because of the tush push. He will get a lot of the touchdowns at the 1 yard line because of that play, since they did not ban it. To me, that's just easy touchdowns, and even when he's not at the 1 yard line, he is still dynamic enough to throw and run the ball. So yeah, I always like having the dynamic quarterbacks as one of my uh, QBs, and that's why I picked these 5 as my top 5.
Yes. Love Jalen Hurts. Fantasy wise, he's top 5 fantasy wise. Not talking fantasy. No, probably not overall. But my top 5, they already told you about Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, just athletic freaks. You can kind of just, Lamar's got the speed, Josh Allen's got the arm. That's where they
Hey,
edge
Jason,
each
you might
other
want
out.
to put your graph on the board. It's not showing.
No?
Nope.
Is it showing now? Oh.
Now it's coming in. There you
we
go.
All right, there we go. All right, thanks, Sony.
No
But yeah,
problem.
like I was saying, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, they're both elite athletes. Josh Allen's got a better arm. Lamar Jackson's a little faster. That's kind of really the difference between the two guys. And Josh Allen's a little reckless throwing the football, but I mean, the amount of rushing touchdowns, the rushing upside, the passing upside, both is there for Lamar Jackson. For Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, that is why we all have both of them top 2. I mean, heck, Jalen Hurts, pretty damn good passer, pretty damn good runner, get it done on the ground in the air, and all those tush pushes, man. I mean, he got 11 touchdowns, 11 rushing touchdowns last year. So if you get that kind of production just from the tush push, and then getting and then throwing 20 plus touchdowns, I mean, that is quite the fantasy season for a quarterback, quite the season in general. Then Joe Burrow. I mean, the situation he's had to deal with, the organization he has had to deal with over in Cincinnati, he's done just a phenomenal job of staying composed as much as he could. But in terms of fantasy wise, I mean, Chase, Higgins, he just carves up defenses with his brain, with his football IQ at such a high level. That's, even though he's not really the fastest of quarterbacks, he does so well in the air. It really, really makes up for it in a way. It really, he just finds a way in the air to get as many points as Allen or Jackson or Hurts. And then Daniels, just the next up and coming great fantasy quarterback. I mean, last year was phenomenal. I did not think Jaden Daniels was going to turn out, to be honest with you. So
I don't think
I
any of
will
us did.
no, I'll definitely take the boop on the head for that one. But I might be taking a couple boops on the head this year, a couple takes I'm throwing out there. But Jaden Daniels, man, I'm telling you, um, he's gonna be good for a long time. He's gonna be a very good fantasy quarterback for a long time as well. All right, any last thoughts on the quarterbacks here before we move on to our next group?
Well, I just want to put the reason why I didn't include Jalen Hurts was for the simple fact is because of Saquon Barkley. He's going to get majority of the rushing carries, which is going to limit the Hurts' carries as well. I mean, we've seen last year Barkley ran for over 2,000 yards. So, I mean, Hurts is not going to be doing much running. His stats are going to be mostly coming from the air until, like you say, we get down to the tush push, which I can't believe wasn't banned. Because that is just ridiculous.
I don't know. I think the tush push is okay. I don't.
Well, if you go see, here's the thing: if you go by the letter of the law in football rules, you're not allowed to assist a player in pushing them over the goal line. So that's why I'm surprised it wasn't. And somehow they found a way to literally just make that somewhat legal.
Well, they do what they want. That's your buddy Roger Goodell.
Don't get me started.
All right. Anything else?
No, I'm just. I mean, I'm not surprised that our lists are pretty much almost similar.
Yeah. They're pretty close. Pretty close. And yeah, I get your Jalen Hurts not having him in your top 5 when Barkley's taking that much volume. I mean, heck, I'll talk about it in a minute when we get to the running backs, but yeah, when Barkley's taking that much volume, taking those touches away, I can see that. But Hurts is just, he's just the man on the ground too. They could both do it, but you're right. The volume definitely is a question a little bit when you have Saquon Barkley in the backfield there as well. All right, running backs, and all right, Tony, go for it, man.
So of course, I mean, for past few fantasy seasons, Derrick Henry has kind of been slowed down. Majority because of the team he was on was a horrible team. But now that he's with Baltimore, I mean, I put him back as the number 1 running back in fantasy football. For the simple fact is now you're looking at a dual running threat between Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. So now it's pick your poison. In close games, Baltimore needs to give the ball to Derrick Henry for ball control and make sure they win those close games. Secondly, I mean, it pains me to say this, but I had to put Saquon Barkley up there. Being a Giant fan, I can't believe that they let him go to Philadelphia. But again, he had an incredible season last year, over 2,000 yards, almost broke the single rushing record, but he sat out the last game because it really was a meaningless game. So that's why I have him as 2. He's going to find the end zone. He's going to get you some big runs. He does it every season. As long as he stays healthy and behind that Eagles offensive line, which don't give up many sacks and, don't give up much tackles for losses, he's going to explode. Third, I have Jahmyr Gibbs. This guy is a combination of Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley wrapped into one. He has power and pure speed like I've never seen in a compacted running back ever before. Yeah, he's going to be splitting time with Montgomery, but still, Gibbs he's going to get you big yardage, whether it's little screen passes or just lower his head and just running somebody over and just keep going, he's gonna, basically just give you huge numbers. Next is Dijon Robinson. Um, when he was drafted by the Falcons, I really was kind of reserved for the simple fact is we know how the Falcons are. They're not that when it comes to offense, they fumble the ball a lot on the offensive side. They don't know what they're doing. Kyle Pitts, they don't know how to use him. I was afraid they wouldn't know how to use Robinson. But they actually found a way to use Robinson, and he was finding the end zone quite a bit last year. And I expect him to even be better this year. And my last running back will be David Achaney. This guy is just explosive. He's like a Tyreek Hill of the running backs. He has pure speed. He's going to make you miss, and he's just going to get those yardage that you're going to sit there and say, well, this is going to be a loss. Well, never mind, it's a 15-yard gain. So, I mean, that's my top 5 for running backs. Like I said, it's a lot that you could choose from as going to come from the running backs, but I feel these would be the ones that's going to give you the best points.
Yes, sir. I was a little shocked when I did see Derrick Henry at 1. That definitely caught me off guard a little bit. Definitely a little bit. But
I mean, you got to think about
it.
His first year in Baltimore, he ran for nearly 200 to 2,000 yards.
Yeah.
And that's with Lamar Jackson also running the ball. So, I mean,
yeah. My only thing with Henry is he doesn't really provide like the receiving upside. Like I know he does make up for it in terms of just pure running, but not being able to catch the ball as much. You're losing points in terms of like, those points per reception. But I mean, yeah, he does really make up for it in the run game, but I just think that Barkley and Gibbs and some of these other guys catch the ball a little more, and I think they get the edge in terms of just like those extra points with catches. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
It does always depend, though. I mean, I think some leagues don't do any points per reception. Some leagues don't do any, some do half. So, I mean, I guess in a league where you're doing no points per reception, then yeah, I mean, heck, Henry is definitely probably like the clear cut one, especially for how much the offense runs through Henry. Of course, Lamar too, but Henry, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Jeff,
take
you're on
yours
the
off,
clock, man.
Jason, let you know that yours is on, so everyone can see yours right now.
Oh my
man, spoiling.
Good thing I could edit this.
Mm-hmm.
Is it on now?
It still is.
I
It's
mean, yeah,
fainted, but yeah, it still is.
How about now?
Yeah.
What?
Huh.
How about now?
Now
No, like all of them are faded.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is so buggy.
So now mine's is showing. Jeff's is barely showing.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay.
Good thing this isn't live.
Mm-hmm.
Although I made one hell of a blooper reel.
Right. Well, me, I went CMC. I understand he spent a lot of time on the injury list last year, but I'm going with he will have a bounce back healthy year this year. He is the best to me dual threat running back in the NFL when he is healthy. And that's why I have Derrick Henry at 2. Jay brings up a great point with the PPR leagues. He does not catch the ball a lot out of the backfield. That's what they have Hill there for. So that's why I do try to kind of go away from Henry and any run-heavy running backs. I try and get the dual threat running backs. So that's why I like CMC number 1, Saquon number 3, of course, because of his dual threat ability. And again, that equals offense with the offensive line. He will have another fantastic year. Gibbs, I have a bit lower on this list for one main reason. Ben Johnson is no longer the offensive coordinator there anymore. I am willing to, or I want to see and find out if it was Ben Johnson that was contributing to Gibbs doing well, or if it's his talent and the talent around him on the field that is contributing to him doing well. So I do want to see that. And Bijan, it's the Falcons. I do try and to stay away from any Falcons players. Really, I'll be honest, until I see them consistently doing well. But Bijan is one that you could definitely grab there with one of your top picks and secure yourself at least 12 to 15 points a game. And if he scores a few touchdowns, you could definitely get more than that per game. But that is my top 5 running backs this year.
All right. I like seeing Christian McCaffrey there. I didn't see Christian McCaffrey in Tony's list. I'm like, man. But he'll talk about it later
I'll
because
explain why.
it'll come up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But my list, I have Bijan number 1. I mean, the Falcons are going to be pretty good this year, and I think the passing attack from Michael Penix Jr. is going to really open up that run game even more. I love Michael Penix Jr. I think he's going to be a phenomenal quarterback in the NFL. You have Drake London, one of the better young receivers in the NFL, and Drake London. So you have a good passing attack. Could Kyle Pitts finally come into his own? It's been the biggest thing. Pitts has been the biggest, like, what is going on here? Pitts was supposed to be the next big thing at tight end, and it never really happened. But so if you get Pitts going a little bit here, but Pitts is a good run blocker, regardless if he's really getting it done in the passing game or not. But Bijan Robinson, I mean, I really think that Bijan, he could make a big play coming out of the backfield, catching the football, or whether it's just bruising, running people over, juking them out of their shoes. I mean, Bijan can do it all. So Bijan is number 1 for me. Christian McCaffrey, I did actually have Christian McCaffrey 1 the first time I did it, and I'm like, no, I think Bijan should be number 1 for the reasons I explained. Then you have Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey is just a dog in him. He's kind of similar to Bijan Robinson in a lot of ways. He could come out of the backfield, catching the football, making big plays, and same thing running in between the tackles. It's just the injuries do definitely weigh in there. You definitely have to ask yourself, how many games is he going to play this year? Is he going to make the whole season? You really never know with Christian McCaffrey. But I have McCaffrey at 2. I mean, love Purdy, love I love what the 49ers have over there in Purdy, but it seems like the offense is really going to be running through McCaffrey. You do have Kittle too. Don't forget about Kittle. Good run blocking tight end. Good run blocking tight ends really make a big difference in run games, and that's only going to help McCaffrey play even better. I am a bit worried about that 49ers interior of their offensive line. That's been pretty bad for a couple of years now. They didn't really do too much to address it. So that's a little bit of a concern, but I mean, bad offensive lines has never stopped McCaffrey in the past. I mean, you look at some of the best running backs, bad offensive lines don't always hold them back. It makes it a lot more difficult, absolutely, but McCaffrey has found a way around that. Go back to the Panthers year. There was one Panthers year where he had 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving. He just straight up was the Panthers offense. And then number 3, you have Saquon Barkley. Love Saquon Barkley. But last year he had so many touches. I had a Google Doc here. He had 482 total touches. That's the most since 2013. Since DeMarco Murray has posted that many touches. So running backs, when they have over 2,000 yards in the season, they tend to regress. Now even if Saquon Barkley does regress, I still think he's going to be a top 5 running back in fantasy football wise and in general. But Saquon Barkley, awesome. He has a little bit of the injury factor to him as well. Kind of one of the big reasons why he didn't work out in New York, because he was injured quite a bit, and then a couple other things here and there just didn't go the way they should have. But it is what it is, and Saquon,
because they chose to pay a bum quarterback.
There you go.
All right. We'll see. DJ is going to prove a lot of people wrong this year. Keep sleeping on DJ, man. Keep sleeping on DJ. But love Saquon Barkley. Jahmyr Gibbs. Gibbs is similar. I mean, he can run you over, juke you out of your shoes, catch out of the backfield, and that's why that's something that's a similar theme with all these guys here in the top 5 for me. I mean, they all catch the ball really well. They all come out of the backfield, fire out of their shoes. And Devon Achane is no different. He does the same thing. Very bad offensive line. He has had some help in terms of, weapons, and then an awesome quarterback getting, a very good quarterback getting the ball to like guys like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, really opening things up in that run game, really spreading the defense out. The Dolphins have had good blocking tight ends too, so we'll see how that changes this year. See how that will affect Achane. But the biggest thing about Achane is just staying healthy, and that's such a common theme with a lot of these running backs up here. I mean, McCaffrey, Barkley, and Achane now. I mean, it just feels like running backs struggle to stay healthy, being tackled by all those big guys in the trenches, having to go through those. And, it's just the nature of the position. It's very brutal, very harsh. But yeah, there are my top 5 running backs for fantasy football. And if you guys have anything else you want to bring up before we move on to our next one, go
Well,
for
I
it.
just want to bring up why I didn't put CMC on my list was because, I mean, he's not always available. And when you're doing fantasy football, you want players that's going to be available basically almost every week. Pretty much everybody on my list is, I mean, with the exception of, Cheney has some injuries. And Barkley just had that one season where he was injured, but for most of all, they're always available. With CMC, you never know if he's going to be available. So that's
Yeah,
why I couldn't put him in my top 5 for running backs.
I get it. It's definitely a big concern because I mean, heck, if you want CMC, you have to draft him in the first round. If you don't draft him in the first round, you're not gonna. I mean, he's probably gonna go top 5, top 10, and that's a if he's getting hurt every year, if the availability is an issue. Sometimes I like to say, as I don't know that you guys have heard it. Sometimes availability is the best ability, and
Yep.
Christian McCaffrey just has not been able to deliver on that aspect. So I definitely understand that, especially for how high you have to draft him to get him. If you're going to spend a top 5 pick in fantasy, you want to make sure you freaking have that player for the year. Well, yeah, I get that 100%. All right. Oh
Yeah,
my
that's the
gosh.
exact so sorry. Sorry, I just want to ask something. That's the
No, you're
exact
good.
reason
Good.
why I put Saquon 1 is because to me I think the risk with him is definitely worth the reward. Um, last time he had a season where he was out a lot of it, he came back and he played 16 games. That's what I viewed it as. If he can come back and he play a lot of games, he's definitely worth taking in that top 5, top 10 spot. Um, Again, yes, his availability is kind of a big question mark and it scares people away. I am a risk taker, so that's why I do like picking him if I get that chance. And again, the risk is definitely worth that reward with him and that offense. So again, if people are risk takers that are watching, I would think about choosing him because again, you will feel like like absolutely terribly if you don't pick him because you're worried about injuries and he comes and he plays 16 almost every game this year. So that's why I had him number 1 because I went into if he is healthy, he is definitely number 1 running back in the NFL.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 100% agreed there.
Yeah, I'm not
All
going to
right.
disagree with that. I mean, he is one of the top best running backs in. But like I said, for me, to spend a top 5 pick on him, you want him to. You want to make sure he's going to be there for at least 98% of your games.
Yeah.
And with CMC, I can't take that chance.
Risk, big reward, big risk, big lose. It can go either way.
Hmm.
Now this is the category that I'm most excited about. Um, Tony, I'll let you pave the way again, man.
Okay, so for you fantasy heads, receivers are a big thing because it's a passing league without a doubt. And I mean, it was hard for me to decide for who was the number 1. For me, it's more like 1A and 1B between Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. Now, the reason I went with Justin Jefferson as number one is for the simple fact is this guy, no matter who's quarterbacking, he still is getting over 13, 1,400 yards. He's going to find the end zone. So, I mean, and Jamar Chase at number two, again, it's going to come down to whether or not the Bengals' offensive line can hold up and keep Joe Burrow upright, which is why I think pretty much I put Justin Jefferson as number one because Minnesota does have a better offensive line. Malik Neighbors I put at number three, and this is why. He had a rookie season where the Giants quarterback room was atrocious, led by former Giant Daniel Jones, who got cut halfway through the season. And so he still had over 1,000 yards. I think he was in the top 5 in rookie receptions, not rookie yardage. And with a crappy quarterback room, he still was out there putting up big numbers. So now that we got Russell Wilson, who's an excellent deep ball thrower, I expect his numbers to even, go up bigger. Then I put CeeDee Lamb as 4. Yes, I know some of you that know me is going to be like, wow, he put a Dallas Cowboy in there. Yes.
You had to.
But the simple
You can't hate
fact
on
is,
it.
even though Dak Prescott is, slightly above average quarterback,
Hey.
I'm just speaking truth. He's slightly above average because we all know when the game's on the line, he's going to throw an interception. But CeeDee Lamb is, has found a way to constantly get 1,000 yards receiving every season. No matter how you look at it, even though Dak is not that great of a quarterback, you still got to double CeeDee Lamb, and he's still going to somehow find a way to beat the coverage. And then fifth, I put Amon-Ra St. Brown. This guy, out of the 5 core receivers on this list, he's actually the slowest. And he still manages to find a way to get in the end zone. He manages to find a way to get open. He is Jared Goff's, number one receiver behind, Sam Laporta, who I will mention later. He does manage to get open, and he gets those tough yardage. And he also gets those in-between yardages that, a lot of receivers can't get. And Amon St. Brown could get those. So that rounds up my top 5.
Yep.
So far, you're doing good.
All right. All right. All right, Jeff, man.
I put Jamar number 1. Again, like Tony said, it is definitely 1A, 1B with these two. I looked at who's throwing them the ball. Joe Burrow and Chase have been together since college at LSU, so they are very familiar with each other, and they have a great connection, as we've seen in these past few years. Where Justin Jefferson now has J.J. McCarthy thrown to him. If it was still Sam Darnold, I would probably put Justin Jefferson at number 1 with how great they played last year. But now with it being J.J., I don't know if the production will still be as high as it was last year for the Vikings' whole offense in general. Never mind just Justin Jefferson. That's why I have Chase number 1. Number 3, CeeDee Lamb. He's gonna lose out on targets because George Pickens there now. So when you're picking him, if you do have that chance, just be wary about that. He will lose out on targets because of George Pickens. And Dak Prescott is not always the greatest quarterback on the field.
You don't say.
Hey.
Hey.
Quit it with the Dak Prescott slander. He's not that bad.
So that's why I can't even have him come close to sniffing the top 2. Amon-Ra, I like the offense better. I understand what Tony's saying about Neighbors. That's why I have him at 5 in the top 5. But that offense to me is definitely a lot better than the Giants' offense. Yes, I would already know about Russell Wilson. I don't want to talk about it. I'm not going to talk about it. But what about what he did to the Steelers and how he played? down the stretch.
Don't
So I
worry,
just
you have
like
a bigger diva this year.
I know.
Uh-huh.
Whole Hey man, it's a whole hell of a lot better than the QBs there in Indianapolis. So
All right.
I'll take a diva over a guy that taps out. All right, so
Can't argue with that.
Hey,
so
listen.
so
I take a diva
so
over a guy that taps out any day of the week.
hmm so yeah, that's my top five. I had to have Chase with Burrow, Josh Jefferson with a different QB this year might have a bit of a dip in production. CeeDee Lamb will definitely have a dip in production. Amon Ra, I don't know yet. Again, because of Ben Johnson, I don't know if the offensive scheme will still be the same as what they were running when he was there. And Neighbors with Russell Wilson, I have to put him in the top five.
All righty. Let's move on. I have my boy Jamar Chase at number 1. I think Jamar.
Blasphemy of this list.
Wait, what? What'd you say?
Wow, the
Blasphemy.
blasphemy of this list. Jason. Oh man. Oh,
I was.
wow.
Oh no, my camera's falling over. That's okay.
Okay, I need to hear the explanation of your list.
All right, Jamar Chase. I genuinely think Jamar Chase is better than Justin Jefferson. If on Jamar Chase's best day, I think he's better than Justin Jefferson on Justin Jefferson's best day. I just think Chase is one of the most dominant receivers we've seen in quite some time. I mean, there's not a single part of his game you could look at and you could even nitpick. I mean, he does everything so well. I think he's about as close as we will ever get to another Terrell Owens. I am willing to go that far and say that Chase is that good. I think when it's
What the
all said
hell's
and done.
happening here?
Wait, what happened?
Are we in the Twilight Zone or something?
Okay, we'll see. But Chase is, I'm telling you, man, Chase is special. He really is. I really think he's a generational player at receiver. And I'm not saying Jefferson is not. Jefferson absolutely is very good too. He's about right there. It's like you said, Tony. Or would you rather me call you Anthony?
Either or, it doesn't matter.
All right, but I think you could say 1A 1B. I just prefer Jamar Chase. I think he's a bit more dominant. And I know he's definitely had the better quarterback situation, so that definitely helps, especially playing with the same quarterback since freaking college. I mean, you can't ask for a better situation than that. But I don't think you could take it away from him either. And I'm telling you, man, Chase is going to go down as one of the best receivers ever played the game. Number 2, you have CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb. This guy, the way that this guy adjusts to the ball. I mean, I don't remember who it was against, but a couple years ago, I know you guys probably know what I'm talking about. The crazy adjustment to the football just to make the touchdown catch. I mean, beautiful adjustment. I wish I had the clip. I'd play it. But CeeDee Lamb, incredible route runner, elite route runner. Hands, sometimes he has the occasional drop here and there, but I think CeeDee Lamb is ready to come back, and I think with his good old buddy Dak Prescott coming back, I think CeeDee Lamb and and Dak Prescott are gonna tear it up, especially now that CeeDee Lamb has a little bit of help on the other side as well. And let's not forget that draft that the Cowboys had. The Cowboys had a nasty draft.
I'm listening.
Tony's not too happy right now, but I think having George Pickens on the other side there is going to help draw a little bit of attention off of him because it really has just been the CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott show for a little while over there. So now that there's a little bit more help on the other side, I think the run game is going to look good. with a solid draft, I really think all the pieces are going to come together, and I think it's really just going to help CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. And I think Lamb is going to see the result of that and just be the second best wide receiver for your in fantasy in 2025. Justin Jefferson, number 3. I get it why some people aren't going to be happy with me putting Jay Jettis at 3. I get it. I know. But the quarterback situation is a question, and he has played out of his mind regardless of who's been at quarterback. But JJ McCarthy, I am not high on JJ McCarthy. And to go along with that, there is a lot of volume in that offense. Jordan Addison is a monster. I think he's one of the better number 2s in the league. TJ Hawkinson, he's gonna take up a lot of the, a lot of targets. It's just there's a lot of volume in that offense, and I'm not a fan of the quarterback situation, even though he's been good, regardless. But I think Justin Jefferson, not because of Jefferson, I think he's going to take a slight step back and a little regression this year. And but that doesn't mean anything. He's still going to be a top 5 receiver. He's still going to be dominant. I mean, it's just not going to be as good as it has been. That's what I'm saying. But number 4, I think a lot of people are going to be surprised about this one. Puka Nacua. I'd take Puka at 4 because I love Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford's arm and Puka Nacua's skill set just match each other perfectly. And Puka, he's going to recapture that rookie year success. He's going to come back into his own, and he's going to be the receiver that he was his rookie year. And he's just going to blow people away once again. Number 5, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Love Amon-Ra St. Brown. He is a perfect security blanket for Jared Goff. The amount of catches, the amount of big plays he makes on third downs, on big downs, is absurd. Every time it's a third down or fourth down, the ball's going to Amon-Ra St. Brown 90% of the time. And, that's big, especially for players, for the points we're getting for catches. He gets a lot of catches, a ton of them. Now, once again, there is a lot of volume in that offense too. You have TJ Hawkinson. Now, no longer TJ Hawkinson. It's Sam Laporta is good. You have the 2 running backs. There's a lot of volume in the Lions offense, but for how important he is on third down, fourth down, and big downs, he's gonna have so many catches that it's just gonna that he's gonna get a lot of points, man. I mean, Monroe's gonna be awesome. But all right, I'm ready to take some hits on the head now.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave Puka alone for right now because I know Jay knows I have him in a different segment, so I'm gonna not really say much about Puka at the moment.
I won't say I'm disappointed in your list. I mean, I'm disappointed in the order you have them, but
okay.
I
deserve that until CeeDee Lamb proves that he can be
I can understand having Jamar Chase number 1. Like I said, him and Justin Jefferson is 1A, 1B. It's just a matter of, like you guys said, since he's been with Burrow since his college years, that familiarity is there.
Right.
Whereas Jefferson is now having
3 or 4
McCarty throwing to him.
Ugh.
Which looked like they was having a connection last season before he got hurt. So, I mean, that could still play an effect. And with Addison getting suspended, who was on Jeff's Dummy of the Week, he's going to get more targets until Addison comes back.
That's right. I did forget about that suspension. So he will have more volume.
Puka, I get what you're saying with Stafford, but Stafford is getting a lot older, so his arm strength really is not going to be there on every single play. We've seen it last year where some of his passes looked a little like they was dying.
Just not like they used to look.
Exactly. And with St. Brown, I mean, again, that Lions offense was the highest was the most potent offense last season. And I get what Jeff's saying is it was under Ben Johnson, but I still don't see them changing much on that offensive end as far as offensive scheme. I still think it's going to still be the same offensive scheme. Just they might just not call the same plays.
Gotcha. Yeah, I get that too. It takes time. Definitely takes time to adjust to a new coordinator.
Yeah,
It definitely takes some time. It takes a little bit. And will Jared Goff even be the same? Will he be the Jared Goff he has been? Will he go
this
back
is true too.
to who he was before? That'd be interesting. I don't think he goes back to being who he was before, but I think he calms down maybe. But I do think Amon Ra is still gonna, yeah. But no, but number 4 there, Puka. I was debating between Puka or Malik Neighbors for 4 right there. It was either gonna be Puka or Malik, and I love Malik Neighbors. There's something about Malik Neighbors' game that I've never seen before. I've only ever seen one other player do it from watching film a little bit here and there. The only other player I've ever seen to like speed up as he's going into his cuts is Antonio Brown.
Yes.
I don't think I've really I don't even I mean Jamar Chase, he doesn't really speed up into his cuts. He's just a freak athlete and he's very good. But AB was the only other player I can remember seeing that just like speeds up cutting instead of slowing down. That is a gift. That is why AB got so much separation. And that's why I think Malik Neighbors is going to be so freaking good for such a long time in New York. I think Malik will have a top 5 worthy season. Will he be top 5 though? Do you get what I'm saying there? Like he's absolutely a top 5 worthy like player for fantasy, but is he going to be top 5? Does that make sense or no?
You're basically saying he has top 5 talent, but is he worth a top 5 pick in your draft?
No, top 5 talent, yes. Top 5 worthy talent, but I just think that these guys here are just better. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's still a top 5 talent.
The
It's just
QB situation kind of puts me in question. Are we, like what rush are we going to get? Like that also does play into effect of what rush we are going to get. Are we going to get the rush that played for the Steelers towards the end of the year, or when he first came in and he was throwing those deep balls with pure accuracy to George Pickens and everybody else?
right.
So that does always play into effect of if I really want to pick somebody with a QB situation that's kind of about as rough as Neighbors is.
Yeah.
Which I agree. I mean, but then you also got Jameis Winston, who's also another deep ball thrower.
Yeah.
His only problem
that's
is
true.
sometimes he has a tendency to throw it the wrong way.
Yeah. I know all too well. I understand. I know all too well, unfortunately. I watched Carson Wentz for a year, man. I mean, that's when I threw my computer chair at the wall. that was not I mean, it was fun in the moment until the end, which, I mean, Carson Wentz. What do you expect? Should have known better. But do we have any more thoughts for the receivers here?
No, I'm good.
No, I'm good.
All right. I was so excited to get to receivers, and that was why I knew that there was going to be some question marks there. But,
oh, well, definitely. You wasn't getting away that easy.
All right, Tony, for the last time, man, go ahead and get us going here for the tight ends.
So this one was kind of for me, it was more of a production, and as far as with the tight ends, because there are a lot of young, good tight ends out there right now. But I mean, for me, I feel the best tight end in the league right now is Brock Bowers. And if this guy ever gets a freaking quarterback,
man,
I mean, he's going to be. I mean, he's going to be amazing. Sam Laporta I have as number 2. He was Jared Goff's. Basically, if he couldn't find Brown for a 3rd down or 4th down conversion, it was Laporta. if he was in the end zone, in the red zone, he was looking for Laporta. This guy just makes plays almost as much as Amar St. Brown did. He the only difference is he's a bigger body and he could box out more in the red zone. Terry McBride, he was another one again. If Kyler Murray could actually be a quarterback and he could get McBride could get some big yardage and some big plays. Especially with them basically going to be doubling Marvin Harrison Jr. a lot. That leaves the field open for McBride. But again, I mean, Kyler Murray, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to bash Kyler Murray. He's not a bad quarterback. My problem with Kyler Murray is his size. He can't see over the offensive line. So he literally has to move around to get a clear view of who's down the field. And that could cause problems because your offensive line don't know where you're at. They can't protect you as well. And you also have the chance of have to scramble or getting hurt. So that's the only thing that I could see will be affecting McBride will be because of Murray has a good arm. He has a very strong arm. His size makes it a little bit difficult. George Kittle, I mean, he's probably the most all-around, all-complete tight end. I mean, he blocks, he goes out, he can catch passes, runs great routes. Occasionally he will drop a pass or two, but overall, he is basically the new model design tight end. And then Evan Ingram's, I mean, this guy went from having Daniel Jones as his quarterback, which can become the common theme now, and people leaving, goes to Jacksonville, have an amazing season with Jacksonville with Lawrence, and now Jacksonville let him walk, and now Trevor Lawrence lost his biggest security blanket. And Evan Ingram is another one. Just like he reminded me of, just like Kyle Pitts, but just not as fast as Pitts. So, and I believe he signed with Denver, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's going to be Bo Nix's security blanket, and good Lord, that's going to be a fun thing to watch.
Sure is.
So yeah, that rounds out my top 5 tight ends.
All right. Go for it, Jeff.
All right. Me and Tony have the same 5, but just in a different order. I have Brock Bowers number 1. Again, a rookie. Again, you will hear me say it on this channel now that I've said it on our channel a lot. I'm not high on rookies, no matter whether they're running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, quarterbacks. I'm not. I'm just not.
He's mostly not high on quarterback rookies.
I gotta see what they can do in the NFL, and these top 2 showed me what they can do in the NFL last year. They were both amazing. Brock Bowers, maybe with Geno Smith, he will get even more touches and touchdowns. With whoever he had at quarterback last year, he will be even better with Pete Carroll and Geno Smith. Trey McBride, same thing. He's going into his sophomore year in the NFL with Kyler Murray. It's the same offense. He should be even better this year. With them having Marvin Harrison Jr. and I'll be honest, I don't really know anybody else on the wide receiver part, but with James Conner in the backfield, Trey McBride could get about the same amount of touches as he did last year for even more yards and look even better. George Kittle, it's unfortunate that there's no fancy points for run blocking because he would be top my list if there was, but there isn't. He is one of the best run blocking tight ends in the NFL, but when he's not run blocking, he is an absolutely great catching tight end. He is Brock Purdy's now number 1 with everybody leaving and getting hurt there and wanting out. So he is the consistent number 1. He tends to get banged up, but still plays through all the injuries. So if you're looking for a reliable tight end that will play all games, you can look at George Kittle. Sam Laporta. If you have a chance, I would probably try and draft Amon-Ra and him if you can get them on the same team, because that'll be deadly. It'll be lethal. Because if one doesn't get a touchdown, then the other one will, and it'll balance out your offense. And hey, if the Lions' offense goes off in a week and both those two do well, then you have an amazing week and you get 60 points from just two players. And I just love Sam. I've drafted him every year since he came in the league. I drafted him when he was a rookie. Then last year, now this year, I drafted him again in a different league. He's just Mr. Consistent with that Lions offense, and he'll just keep getting even better and better. Evan Ingram, I looked at this new situation with the Broncos, and I was like, my goodness, Bo Nix is going to have himself a field day with having Evan Ingram. And Evan Ingram on the team now with that offense that looked pretty good last year, and now with Bo Nix and Sean Payton going into their second year, it'll be even better now, even with Evan Ingram. So those are my top 5 tight ends for fantasy this year.
George Kittle, number 1. I mean, that 49ers offense is really going to run through Kittle and Christian McCaffrey. Brock Purdy knows how to get Kittle the ball. He's been there a couple of years now. I really think Kittle is in for a huge year. Like I said, there's the volume isn't really too impressive in terms of other talents. I mean, you do have Ayuk, but there's some issues going on with him, but he'll play. Kittle, every single year, he's pretty much, if he could stay healthy, he's pretty much consistent. But as we've talked about before, it's kind of, the 49ers are one of those teams, man. It feels like every one of their superstar players is just, it's either they're going to be hurt all year or they're going to be phenomenal football players. And it's kind of the thing, high risk, high reward with George Kittle. He do a little bit of everything. He'll, like they were saying, he was really good at run blocking, but catching the ball wise, he's one of the best, if not the best in the league. Trey McBride really, really came on. What? Oh, never mind. My bad. Trey McBride, like they said, he just kind of exploded onto the scene, came out and freaking, he took it, man. He took it. And having Kyler Murray can be a little more consistent. Like Tony said about that height, when you're that short, it's a little difficult to be consistent sometimes. And Trey McBride, typically your tight ends go over the middle of the field. And, if you don't set the right protection, if your guys don't slide the right way and Kyler Murray doesn't get in the right position, he won't see him. But, Trey McBride could go to the outside too, typically, of course. But, yeah, McBride, number 2. Sam Laporta, number 3. Drafted this guy his rookie year. He damn near won me the fantasy league. Laporta is awesome. Having Jared Goff being that safety blanket, just like Amon-Ra is. I mean, just an incredible red zone threat. Sam Laporta is one of the better ones up there. Brock Bowers at number 4. I'm kind of regretting doing this at number 4. The more I'm thinking about it, the bigger the mistake I made. He should be number 1, and then Kittle, McBride, and Laporta should all be moved down 1. But here we are. It is what it is. I tried being fancy. I tried overthinking it, and it didn't get me anywhere. But like these guys said, Brock Bowers just came onto the scene, and he's freaking incredible. One thing I love about Brock Bowers' game is he's able to look one way to trick the defender out and then cut the opposite way. He knows how to win with his eyes. He knows how to win with his head movement, and that's his signature move. And some of those really good players in the league, they just have their signature move, and that's Brock Bowers' signature move. So Bowers should be 1. I was just dummy. But yeah, Brock Bowers should be 1 and then move the rest down 1. And then number 5, once again, I was overthinking too much. Evan Ingram with the Broncos with Bo Nix. I mean, he's gonna be freaking incredible. David Njoku is a really good, consistent option, but Evan Ingram is definitely a bigger reward. He's a little bit of risk because he does have a bit of an injury history, but You could say he's been inconsistent at times, but his quarterback play hasn't really been there either. So him going to Bo Nix, that system, Sean Payton, I mean, the Broncos are ready to go and make a run at that division title, I think. Evan Ingram's going to be awesome. So I'd say Ingram is my 5, actually, and then Njoku could be 6. I think Jake Ferguson could definitely make a good, compelling argument. I think you can make a good argument for him being 5 possibly as well. But yeah, those are my tight ends. I was just overthinking and doing stupid things, doing dummy things here, man. I don't know. I don't know what I was doing here. I knew
Well,
what
I
I should have
mean,
did and I didn't.
I will admit that originally I was going with Njoku, but then I was like, wait a minute, I'm missing somebody. And I was like, where's Evan Ingram's? I was like, shit. Because I knew he wasn't going to be, I knew he wasn't in Jacksonville anymore. I just couldn't remember if he was in, I knew he was out on the West, so I couldn't remember if it was Denver or, um, well, I knew it wasn't the Raiders. So yeah, it had to have been Denver. And I was just thinking, wait a minute, out there with Bo Nix, Sean Payton, and we know how Sean Payton loves tight ends.
Yeah.
I mean, because look what he did with Jimmy Graham, man. I mean, so and I could see Sean Payton doing that with Evan Ingram's, turn him into like a Jimmy Graham style tight end, where I mean he just becomes impossible to cover.
Yeah.
So and then I was thinking, wait, with Njoku, I mean, we really don't know their quarterback situation. It could be a freaking nightmare.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I got to put Ingram's. I just couldn't put Njoku in the top 5 situation just because of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Evan Ingram's definitely got the edge in the quarterback situation. Bo Nix is awesome. I think Bo Nix and the Broncos are really going to compete for that division this year. I really think they're going to push the Chiefs to their absolute limits both times they play them.
I think
And
so too.
I think
I
so as
think so
well.
too. It's gonna be a good race there, and it's not just all Chiefs anymore.
nah, nope. It's Bo
Because
Nix, baby.
I mean, even with the Chargers, yeah, I mean, their offense is kind of in disarray, but you got Harbaugh who runs a tight offensive ship, and their defense is no joke. You still have they can be competitive against the Chiefs, and even with the Raiders, I mean, I don't see them being over 500. I think they'll be like maybe at 500 at best, or one game under 500 to finish the season. But yeah, is that the Chiefs is not running away with the division anymore.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We're tired. We're tired of the Swifties. We're tired of of Travis Kelsey and seeing Taylor Swift every 2 seconds. We want to watch some football, man. We're tired of watching and seeing Taylor Swift. That's enough. We don't want no
Yeah, man.
more.
That's exactly why I left Travis Kelsey off. He's an honorable mention. Travis Kelsey, like you said, Jake Ferguson. You got Dallas Goddard in Philadelphia, or if you need one in the later rounds, Pat Firemouth for the Steelers. He's a very reliable tight end.
Sir.
Those are some honorable mentions for your tight end spot if you need one in the later rounds.
And I think a big key to having a big fantasy year, I think you have to find that value tight end. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes,
I don't know if you want to go so high with the tight end. Like you got to find that diamond in the rough. You know what I mean? Like I did that with Laporta one year. One year I had like 3 or 4 tight ends that were just absolutely wild. I just traded them away, and got so many different other assets. But um, that being said, if you could find a good value tight end, maybe later in later rounds, and they could show up and just be consistent every week, that's a big that's a big W, because I feel like tight end is, if you don't find that sneaky value pick or you don't get one of the better players, it feels like you're really struggling to find a tight end every single week.
this is true.
So
Yeah. Yeah, like it's very true. I don't ever really go high on tight ends, but if I'm in like third, fourth round and I see Bowers or McBride or Porter still there, I will definitely take them in that round. But other than that, I'm not going to reach too much to get a tight end. I can find a, a value tight end in the sixth, seventh, eighth round if I really need it, or I can wait later and just fill out the rest of my team first, and the tight end will come along. There's no need to reach for a top tier tight end if you don't really need to.
yes, I agree. But maybe Brock Bowers. They always say there's an exception to the rule. Maybe Brock Bowers becomes that. Maybe he
Hmm.
just becomes that insane. But still, at the same time, I mean, it all depends, of course. But all right, that it for tight ends.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, here's our underhyped fantasy players. Um, I'll go first this time, and we'll go from right to left. I took Jake Ferguson. Whether you're a big Dak Prescott guy or not, I get it. A lot of people don't like him, and I get it. He throws a lot of interceptions, especially in big moments. But there aren't many quarterbacks out there I would take over Dak Prescott. I mean, I'm
Say that
just saying
again.
Dak Prescott. I'm just saying no. I said that wrong. I'm just saying Dak Prescott is better than 90% of quarterbacks in the league.
Huh?
Yeah, Dak Prescott's.
Jason, I'm gonna have you tested for drugs.
Tell me. All right, I'm trying to say this the right way. Dak Prescott is a good quarterback,
He's above average.
right? And you'd probably take maybe 10 or 11 quarterbacks over him.
15.
All right, okay. I'm just saying Dak Prescott is enough. If you draft a quarterback in the fourth or fifth round like they drafted him, and he turns out like that, heck,
I mean, Dak Prescott is good when the game's not on the line and it's not a big game.
For me, I
yeah,
view it as Dak is not worth being the highest paid QB in the NFL.
yeah, yeah, of
That's
course, I
that's where I draw the line. Is like, yeah, he's a good quarterback, but not worth getting paid as much as he's getting paid.
yeah, I agree, but
Like third.
but Dak Prescott, he loves his tight ends. Bottom line, he loves his tight ends, and Jake Ferguson, whoever the heck it has ever been there, tight ends always driving Dallas because Dak loves them. And Jake Ferguson, like I said, I don't think people are talking about Ferguson enough when they're talking about solid tight end options. I think they kind of forgot about him. So don't forget Jake Ferguson. If you see him later in the draft, you're going for a value tight end. Say you want a couple monster receivers or running back early on, Ferguson might be there in the later round. And then you have Michael Penix Jr. What he has 1 year under his belt. Offensive line is all right. You have a couple good weapons. Absolutely love Drake London. Bijan Robinson, of course. Can Kyle Pitts finally come into his own? I think Michael Penix Jr. has a high ceiling. I don't think many people are talking about him enough. Of course, he can run as well. He could run. He has that run factor to him. He could pass. He will be good at passing the football this year. So Penix is another underhyped fantasy player for me. All right, Jeff, go for it, man.
Yeah, I just thought of two other tight ends that we didn't mention. Dalton Schultz with the Houston Texans. Him and CJ Stroud did really good last year. And how about Mark Andrews? We could mention him. I understand he had that drop against the Bills in the playoffs, but him and Lamar, they tend to gel well together as long as Mark Andrews can't stay healthy. He's another tight end that you can grab in later rounds, I believe. That's just I wanted to mention those two for the people as well. Um, for my underhyped, I went Chase Brown, the running back for the Cincinnati Bengals. A lot of people don't really talk about him. There's a running back there in Cincinnati, and his name is Chase Brown. He did great last year in his rookie year. People like talking about Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, uh, uh, Jamar Chase, of course, but I think Chase Brown does not really get talked about enough, and he gets slept on a lot. He's a big value running back in that offense. If you somehow miss out on either one of the first three that I mentioned, try and get Chase Brown if you really, really can. Get at least some part of that offense. Again, he's a dual threat running back with the running, and then he can also catch the ball out of the backfield. He's a very fast little guy, so he can definitely get you a lot of points if you really need it in that flex spot. If you already got two really decent running backs and you can get a flex spot, I would definitely try and get Chase Brown. Another one in the flex spot I would maybe try and get is Marvin Harrison Jr. As we mentioned earlier. He's a great wide receiver. I think him and Kyle Murray going year two will get even better. I understand you might get doubled a bit, but I think he's just that talented to get open no matter what. Um, and again, the Cardinals team really isn't talked about too much. People don't really bring their names up when it comes to fantasy players that could make an impact. And I think Marvin Harrison Jr. could definitely get you a good impact player and at least 11 to 12 points a game in that flex spot if you really need him in that flex spot. So those are my two underhyped fantasy football players.
All right, all right. Tony?
So my underhypes is, and of course, I know Jeff's gonna be rolling his eyes because I have Cam Ward, QB for the Titans. And here's why. Okay, so with Will Levis' injury, the only options will be for QB is either Cam Ward, what's his damn name? Hold on, I'm trying to find it. Oh, or Trevian Simeon.
Oh,
Exactly. I mean, I know they just signed another quarterback, which was Brandon Allen.
interesting.
Yeah, you don't have much to pick from, and Cam Ward more likely will be the starting quarterback. And again, with the offensive line in Tennessee, which has always been a nasty offensive line, as long as they could keep him protected, I could see Cam Ward, exploding and having a CJ Stroud type of rookie season. And then my other underhype is David Montgomery. He had a couple of injuries last year, which kind of derailed his season, and he actually gave way to Tyrone Tracy Jr. towards the end of the season.
Are you thinking of the right guy there, Tony?
Yeah.
Because Dave Montgomery's on the Lions, right?
No.
ESPN says he's on the Lions.
Yeah. Who are you thinking about? Dave Montgomery is the running back for the Lions. It's that 1-2 combo
maybe I screwed the graphic up. Is someone that people probably aren't going to be thinking about too much because of Jahmyr Gibbs, but Montgomery is still a good red zone option too, though. Tyrone Tracy, Devin Singletary, Cam Scatterbu.
That's what I meant, Devin Singletary. Yeah, that was a brain fart right there.
Nah, you're good.
So I meant Devin Singletary. Like I said, because he was injured, most of the middle of the season. He's going to have a bounce back year. I mean, he was excellent when he was in Chicago. With the offensive line somewhat improving and with them moving Evan Niels over to a guard's position and getting him off the tackle position, thank God.
Oh my. Yeah, that was not a good experiment.
I could see the run game being picked up somewhat. And like I said, with Russell Wilson and the deep threat with Malik Neighbors, those safeties are going to have to sit back. So you won't have 8 and 9 men in the box. You can actually, get some running going. So,
Jeff, we'll start with you this time, man. All right. I'm gonna keep harping on the rookie thing that I have here. Ashton Genty. He didn't look good in his first. He didn't look good in his first preseason game. I understand his preseason, but I don't know. I try and tend to stay away from any rookies if I can, especially one that's been hyped up as much as him. And again, being a running back, that kind of does worry me. And again, it's the Raiders' offensive line. I don't know how well it's going to hold up and really open up some holes for him. He's going to need to do it a lot on his own. It's not like college. So I'm a bit weary about picking him, and that's why I think he's a bit overhyped right now. I wouldn't pick him above any of the running backs that we've already mentioned today. I would pick Chase Brown over him. I would pick a lot of other running backs over Ashton Genty just because of the rookie factor and the Raiders' offensive line. I'm not really too sure how it's going to hold up for him and being a rookie. And I went with Puka Nacua. I understand that Jay has him in his top 4 in wide receiver rankings, but I do not see it being a really good year for Puka, being that he was injured a lot last year, and now Matt Stafford's in with a back and shoulder injury. As he's getting older, it's going to be a bit more tough to get Puka the ball consistently. And with Puka's recent injury struggles, I do try and strand away from that. Other than if his name isn't CMC, I will not be really. I try and stay away from anybody who's injured a bit too much. So that's why I do think Puka is a bit overhyped. I'd pick a lot of wide receivers over him as well. I pick Neighbors over him. I would pick Marvin Harrison over Puka if I really needed to. I would think just based off injury factor and how the QB's looking coming into the season, not looking the healthiest. That just does scare me away from from going to pick him at all. So those are my 2 overhyped fantasy football players.
All right. So it kind of came back to me why I put Brock Bowers at 4, even though it's still not a good reason. Brock Bowers, I had him as overhyped a little bit because Pete Carroll likes to run the football. He likes to, keep the ball on the ground, chew that clock away. He likes to play smash mouth football.
Unless your name is Marshawn Lynch.
and we're in the Super Bowl.
But that's why I kind of said Brock Bowers at 4 because I thought maybe the volume will go down a little bit. But I mean, for how good Brock Bowers is, he's just going to take over like 90%, 80% of the receiving targets. I mean, Bowers, the way he gets open, the way we talked about earlier, he didn't get open all the time. So, I mean, once again, I was just overthinking. Bowers is not overhyped. He's probably going to be good as advertised, especially with the better quarterback in there in Geno Smith. So, yeah, Brock Bowers, he'll be good. And then Malik Neighbors, kind of had him on overhyped because the quarterback situation isn't too impressive. But the Giants
than it
do have
was
some,
before.
but the Lions quarterback situation isn't what did I say now? Did I say Lions?
Yes, you
Yeah,
did.
the Lions, the Giants.
But the Giants quarterback situation isn't really. It's up in the air. I'm not too high on Jackson Dart if he were to start, but Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston kind of depends on what we get with them. But they're probably going to run the football a lot. Tyrone Tracy, Devin Singletary. I love Cam Scatterboo. And then you have a couple of other pretty solid receivers in there that are going to want time. Wandale Robinson, Slayton, and
Yeah, but Slayton can't keep a hold of the fucking football.
no, yeah,
He drops at least 2 passes a game.
Slayton's like a nice deep threat, but he just can't hold on to the football.
Exactly.
So, I mean, how good is it if he can't?
And hopefully they get Jalen Hyatt the ball.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of people are high on Jalen Hyatt, as he should be. Jalen Hyatt should be getting the ball more. So you do have volume in terms of like mouths to feed and some good running backs, some good receivers. So, I mean, maybe they'll take away from Malik Neighbors' production a little bit, but probably won't too much because Neighbors knows how to get open. And I mean, if you make yourself open all the time and you're making big time plays all the time, then you can't be ignored. You're going to get the ball a lot more. So one of them is kind of it's kind of valid here. Brock Bowers kind of not, but they're my overhyped players. Tony, what's your take on your guys?
So I put CMC for the simple fact is because of the injury factor. We never know if this guy is going to stay healthy and it's going to be on the field. And like I said, I mean, we said it before, being available is the best availability. And if he's not available and you're drafting him high, you're basically throwing away points. So which is why I don't, I consider CMC overhyped. When he's on the field, yeah, he's a great player. But again, because we're never 100% sure if he's going to be on the field, it kind of makes him basically to the point where, it comes back to, yeah, high risk, high risk, big rewards. But again, sometimes it's not worth it. My other pick, I mean, this
Mrs.
guy just,
Oh no, Mister Kelsey.
yeah, Travis Kelsey he needs to decide if he wants to play football or he wants to be a pop star.
He wants to be a Swiftie. He's a Swiftie.
I mean, plain and simple. I mean, before Taylor Swift got into the picture,
Oh, he said her name.
you see me roll my eyes too. Before that bitch got into the picture,
Oh, man.
Here
he
we
was
go.
one of the most coveted tight ends that everybody wanted in fantasy football. And now nobody basically wants to touch him. Everybody's like, okay, yeah, we just don't want to deal with him because we don't know what we're going to get, if he's going to actually want to play or get in his coach's face and yell at him because he's not getting enough touches or throw a temper tantrum on the field where he causes his team 15 yards or possibly get kicked out of a game. I mean, we don't know what we're going to get from this guy. So that's why I have him as overhyped because he's not worth the risk or the reward.
No, he's past it. He got a little friend there, and then he lost it. He lost the fire. Lost his fire. Maybe it's all the drama. Maybe it's that much more pressure on him, and it just makes you that much more tired. Because heck, I mean, all those eyes, all those extra people watching now, all the Swifties. If he makes one little mistake, you know how they are. It's like, whoo, like you know what I mean. So a lot of pressure,
Mm-hmm.
but kind of lost that fire. I agree with you. It's kind of like Travis Kelsey was probably the most dominant tight end in football.
Yeah, because remember for a while the conversation was who was the best tight end, George Kittle or Travis Kelsey.
Exactly.
Now that conversation don't even exist.
No.
None of us even had Travis Kelsey in the top 5. That just
Exactly.
shows you.
No. He's fallen off.
Like he wasn't even a thought for me to put him in the top 5.
Me neither.
No, me neither. I didn't even for 1 second think if I should put Travis Kelsey in top 5. There's
Exactly, neither
too
did
many
I.
distractions. He's worried about everything else but football. And then when he's not getting the ball, he's throwing a temper tantrum.
Exactly.
That's not what a championship squad wants. They don't want that around. So, yeah. I mean, I guess that's all we got for today's episode. Anybody have any last thoughts before we wrap up?
I enjoyed it. It was a pleasure being on. Definitely got to do this again another time.
Yes. Yes, sir. Had a good time. It's been a while since our faces have been up here. It was a little different. I haven't even done something like that, like just not showing my face at all, with other people on the show. But I had a good time. Good time talking some football. I appreciate you guys coming on, guys. Last time before we get out of here, want to let them know where to find you, about your merch store. If you want to mention your sponsor, go for it.
So our merch store is zoneelitewear.com. It's off of Shopify. Jeff, you want to do the sponsor?
Yeah, and our sponsor is Doobie or W, however you want to say it. It is DUBBY. It's an energy drink. Yes, that's one of their cups that they have there. It's an energy drink, almost like a G Force or a G Fuel kind of thing for your workout gurus. Yeah, we just got partnered with them, and they've been good. It's been good to us. I know that Tony's tried some, and he's enjoyed it. So yeah, and again, our YouTube channel is the Drop Zone Podcast on YouTube. Um, you can always recognize us by our logo. Our logo is pretty recognizable for anybody that does look. Uh, and hey, who knows? You might run in Jason in our lives. More than likely, he's always tuning in every Wednesday with us on Friday or at 7 p.m. He's always in there causing havoc, being a little internet troll, as he says, but it makes
Me?
the episode, yeah, it makes the episode
Are
10
we
times better and more enjoyable.
are we talking about the right person here?
Yes, we are. But yeah, again,
Uh,
we really do appreciate having on. It was a good time. I will say I was a bit nervous, even though it's pretty much the same thing as what we do on ours. But I don't know, just it's a different audience, so I was a bit more nervous. But
nah.
it's basically the same thing, and I enjoyed it. I had a good time. I'm all about fantasy football. I love fantasy football. Given the fact I've already done 2 fantasy football drafts already, and we're not even halfway through August because people are too impatient. Just shows how much a fantasy football guru I am. So I have no problem doing this segment. I love it.
Yes. And then, all right. I guess that's going to be it from us. Thank you for tuning in to the first ever Your Fantasy Fixings fantasy football episode. First ever segment in the JDW Sports Network. We have Just Arrival coming tomorrow. Should be tomorrow. So stay on the lookout for that. Of course, Cole's content, a couple topic videos here and there. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. This is Jason. Thank you for thank you to Tony, to Jeff. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Had a good time here out, and I will catch you guys later. Peace out.
Later.
Peace.